Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the Representative Rick Williams.
Thank you very much. It's certainly an honor to be here. Thank you to Governor Caldwell and leaders and staff. It's an honor to be here at GMC this morning. I'd like to echo some words of former President Ronald Reagan. As we stand here today, we can easily imagine that day, September the 17th, 1787, when the delegates rose from their chairs and arranged themselves according to the geography of their states, beginning with New Hampshire, all the way down, moving south to Georgia. They had labored for 4 months through the terrible heat of that Philadelphia summer, but they knew as they moved forward to sign their names to that new document that in many ways their work had just begun. This new Constitution, this new plan of government, faced a skeptical, even hostile reception in much of the country. Sometimes we're tempted to think of the birth of our country as one of such a golden age, a time characterized primarily by harmony and cooperation. In fact, the Constitution and our government were born in crisis. The years leading up to our Constitutional Convention were some of the most difficult our nation had ever endured. This young nation, threatened on every side by hostile powers, was on the verge of economic collapse. Trade disputes between the states were bitter and sometimes very violent, threatening not only the economy, but even the peace. The Articles of Confederation, all could see, were not strong enough to hold this new nation together. But there was no general agreement on how a stronger federal government would be constituted, or indeed whether one should be constituted at all. There were many strong secessionist feelings in many parts of the country. In Boston, some were calling for a separate nation of New England. Others felt the 13 states should be divided into independent nations. And it came as a shock to George Washington, having recently traveled to New England, to find the sentiment in favor of returning to a monarchy was very strong in that region. No, it wasn't the absence of problems that won the day in 1787. It was the absence of division and difficulty. It was the presence of something higher, the vision of democratic government founded upon these self-evident truths that still resounded in Independence Hall. It was that ideal proclaimed proudly decades earlier that enabled them to rise above politics and self-interest, to transcend their differences and together create this document. This Constitution would profoundly and forever alter not only the United States, but the world in general. In a very real sense, it was then, in 1787, that the revolution truly began. For it was with the writing of our Constitution, setting down the architecture of democratic government, that the noble sentiments and brave rhetoric of 1776 took on substance, that the hopes and dreams of the revolutionists could become a living, enduring reality. All men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. A revolution to free man from tyranny of every sort and secure his freedom is the only way possible in this world, through the checks and balances and institutions of limited democratic government. This document that we honor today, the Constitution, has always been something more to us, filled us with a deeper feeling than one of simple admiration, a feeling, one might say, more of reverence, a covenant with mankind, the triumph of human freedom under God. God bless America, and thank you for the opportunity to address you today. Thank you very much.